Hello, I'm Harry FleuTV. Remember, you don't have to. The Last Temptation of Homer has always been my favourite Simpsons episode, and it tells a really good story of conflict and the choices that Homer makes. But what if he decided to make a different choice? What if events had unfolded differently? What if Homer Simpson chose Mindy instead of Marge? This is What If. We start our story with Homer and Mindy on their hotel bed. Homer cried, knowing what he was thinking was wrong, and as Mindy comforted him, he confessed his worry about how he was falling for her and how they were going to have sex because of what the fortune cookie had said. Mindy told Homer that they didn't have to and told him to look into his heart, and that she thinks he knows what he wants. The two kissed, but instead of pulling away like in the original episode, Homer actually kept kissing Mindy. Mindy was taken aback by this, but went along with what Homer was doing, knowing that it was his choice. They pulled away, and Homer said to Mindy that he thinks he knows what he wants. But Homer, what about your wife? Mindy questioned. Homer thought for a moment, but before he could reply, he got a call from Marge, who asked him where he was. Without thinking, Homer told her that he was at a motel with a friend, and they'd be staying the night. Then he hung up and turned to face Mindy. He then told her that he made his choice, and that the two of them would have a one-night stand. The next day, Homer went back home to find a panicked Marge waiting for him. She demanded to know where he'd been that night, and asked what he meant by staying at a motel with a friend. Homer didn't know what to say, but reassured his wife that everything was fine, and he needed to get away for a while. Marge was suspicious, but decided to leave it for the moment. Homer decided to distract himself by watching TV, but found that he kept thinking about Mindy. He got out his phone where he saw her number from the night before when he'd asked for her number so they could stay in touch. Homer decided to ring Mindy and spoke with her about their next move, unbeknownst that Bart and Lisa were eavesdropping by accident. Bart and Lisa heard the conversation and whispered to themselves. "What's Dad talking about?" Bart whispered. Lisa shrugged, and they kept listening. They heard Homer say, "It was a one-night stand, but I can't stop thinking about you." And the two siblings looked at each other in dismay and concern. Once Homer had hung up, Bart and Lisa went over to their father and asked who he was talking to. Homer tried to lie and said that it was Mr. Burns calling about work, but Lisa pointed out that they had one night stand and "I can't stop thinking about you." "Are you having an affair with your boss?" Bart asked, but Homer sighed knowing that he'd been caught out and decided to tell his children the truth. Bart was more shocked that someone else knocked up Homer, but Lisa was horrified that her father was cheating on his wife. Homer tried reassuring them that it was a one-time thing, and that Mindy was just a co-worker at his job. Suddenly, they heard Marge behind them ask, "Who's Mindy?" And they all turned round to find Marge. Bart and Lisa didn't know what to say. They looked down sadly, and Homer looked down guiltily. "Wait, Was Mindy the so-called friend you stayed the night with? Marge questioned. Homer sighed, knowing that he'd been caught, and confessed that he had feelings for another woman, and that they'd had sex at the motel. Marge was horrified and asked Homer why he'd done it. Homer confessed that he didn't know why, but that he and Mindy had a lot in common. And without thinking, he told her, "Plus, she's prettier." This infuriated Marge, and she screamed at him to pack his bags and get out of the house. Bart and Lisa stared at each other, and Bart whispered that he thought it was time for them to leave. That evening, Homer had packed his bags and moved out of the house. He called Mindy and confessed everything that had happened and asked if he could stay with her. Mindy said that she was unsure of his choice, but that it would be fine, and she'd pick him up soon. Meanwhile, Marge cried on her bed, thinking about what a selfish man she'd married. Lisa and Bart asked their mother what they'd do next, and Marge tells them that she and their father wouldn't be together anymore, but that they still loved their children, and the three of them hug and cry together. Homer would spend the rest of his life with Mindy. He was a bit unsure of his choice to leave Marge at first, but realized that he'd made his choice, and that he and Mindy were happy together as they had so much in common, and soon he'd get over his ex-wife. Meanwhile, Marge lived in the countryside with Bart and Lisa. She decided to move house to fully get over her ex-husband, and now she and her children lived happily without Homer Simpson in their lives. Marge had even gone back to using her maiden name, and Bart and Lisa would eventually grow accustomed to using the last name Bouvier as well. And that's my what if. Tell me what you guys thought in the comments and let me know what choice you think Homer would make. Do you think he would stay with Marge and be loyal, or do you think he really would leave her for Mindy? And let me know how your scenario would play out. And do you think Homer would feel bad for leaving Marge like that? But that's all I have for today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more fan fiction, more talking videos, and more reviews. I've been Harry FleuTV. Remember, you don't have to.